Hello guys, and welcome back to a brand new video of mine where I will be going to give you my reviews, my thoughts and my scores on the dances of the Kingdom Dancing 2020 week 6. And before we start, I just want to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet, and let's kick off with the first couple of the evening, Clara and Aliash and the Jive. Great choreography, lovely musicality, but lots of technical issues, and Clara forgot her choreography in several places. She was in sync with Aliash for the most parts, but her jive was lacking sharpness and pointing of the feet during the kicks, as well as hip action and closing of the feet during the jive chases. It was all on the heavy side and it lacked precision. Her steps were too big. Her toe heel swivels were also questionable. As much as Clara's energy and her feel for the music were truly brilliant, her actual jive had loads of mistakes. Too many mistakes, especially for this stage of the competition, and I'm not surprised she's got eliminated, because her jive, without the mistakes, I would have scored her jive probably a 6, but she forgot the choreography. Without forgetting the choreography, I would have scored her jive probably a 6, but she forgot the choreography, and not once. She forgot it in 2 places, and it was very visible. She couldn't hide it. So it was the weakest dance of all, and I'm not surprised she's got eliminated, and it just wasn't her dance. And I would score the jive just a 4, sadly. And let's continue to Jamie and Karen and the tango. Proper music, fantastic atmosphere, proper traditional ballroom tango choreography. Jamie's frame was wonderful. He didn't miss a step. He was glued to Karen all the way through. He had loads of intention and determination in his eyes. Something in the way he acted this dance reminded me of Maharashtra Prakash tango back in series 4. Jamie has really owned this dance. This is only his 2nd ballroom dance, and what a revelation from his American Smooth Foxtrot in week 2. He went totally wrong in his Foxtrot technique wise. His technique was really poor, and I gave him a 5, and I really wanted to give him a 4, because he got all his steps wrong back there. However, this time in his tango, he came out with all his guns blazing. He was totally committed. His footwork was really clean and beautiful, not to mention his upper body. It could have been sharper, and it could have more connection to the floor, because in the tango it is always important to have a stock in action. But other than that, it was lovely, truly lovely, traditional, crisp, neat. It had superb characterization. Great job. And I will score this tango an 8. And let's continue with Harvey and Jeanette and the street dance. It was a dance full of emotions. The partnership between Harvey and Jeanette was better than ever. Pretty flawless synchronization. Lovely moves that were taken from the popping style of hip hop. I just wanted it to be a tad more intricate in terms of choreography, because the lines were there, the emotions were there, but the choreography itself left me a bit cold and wanting more. They didn't fully embrace the essence of street dance, in my opinion. It was all very clean. It had fantastic musicality. Harvey really gave everything he could. But, as I said, personally for me, something in this choreography was missing and didn't quite work for me 100%. I wanted to see maybe a bit more intricate stuff. I have to admit that I'm not a fan of this whole idea of couple choice. I always say that, especially in a short series like this, because I would have wanted all the couples to stick to Ballroom Latin. But it is what it is, and in my opinion, Jamie's street dance from last week was significantly better. But having said all that, Harvey did an undeniably brilliant job, and I will score this street dance a 9. And let's continue to Ranveer Giovanni and the American Smooth. The connection between Ranveer and Giovanni is truly fantastic, and I say it each and every time. I enjoy their partnership. Great tune, fantastic characterization. Ranveer's lines were super clean. Her upper body and frame were absolutely perfect. Her footwork was magnificent. All in all, it was truly a fantastic dance. That spin towards the end was truly magical. It could have been truly flawless if Ranveer would have pushed hard enough into the floor with the balls of her feet while moving backwards, and if the foxtrot sections were having more sway. One can argue if there was enough American Smooth take on the ballroom foxtrot. Probably not. Probably it was just a traditional foxtrot with some lifts and separations, and not really the show-based style of the American Smooth. But I didn't really care. It didn't really bother me, because it was truly a very good dance, both technically and artistically, and I cannot wait for Ranveer's Venus Waltz this week, because she needs to correct, she needs to work on several tiny little details while doing ballroom, and then it will be truly masterful and perfect, and it will be awarded all 10 across the board. But now, from now on, I will score this American Smooth an 8. And let's continue with Bill and OT and the Jive. In my opinion, it wasn't his best. In fact, for me, it was probably Bill's weakest dance so far, not to mention his cha-cha-cha in week 1. The kicks should have been much sharper. The chassés were lacking the needed hip action, which is called the pendulum action of the hips, and it was a tad stumpy. As always, Bill's musicality is superb, and he acted the dance really amazingly, excellently. But it wasn't a strong dance in terms of footwork. I really want Bill to rise his game. He always comes out full determination. His feel for the music is truly second to none. His partnership with OT is lovely, but he just needs to work even harder on the technical aspect of the dance, and I will score this Jive a 6. And let's continue to JJ and Amy and the Venus Waltz. It was without a trace of a doubt very emotional and very sincere. And JJ's frame was excellent. He worked on his frame, it was excellent. his footwork was good, but, and again, I'm getting picky. It's week 6. I want to see improvement. We are heading towards the final, and I'm going to be very picky. It was lacking sway. It was a bit heavy, and I wanted to see more gliding across the floor. And his flecker was questionable too. He definitely worked on his artistry. He came out of the dance floor and told the story, as opposed to his sweet step last week, where I felt he was truly cold and didn't show any emotion. But technically, it wasn't great. For me, it was a disappointment. I wanted it to be technically much better. And I will score this Venus Waltz a 6. For me, it was overmarked by the judges, and I don't want to get into it, but I feel like the judging the scores were inconsistent. Bill and Oti were overscored, JJ and Amy were overscored, Clara and Aliash were overscored. We have one last couple left, and what a couple! Maisie and Gorka and the quick step. It was best dance of the night. It could have been a 10 from me if they hadn't broke hold in the middle of the dance. I couldn't find anything wrong in her footwork. Maisie truly owned that dance. She was light, she was bright, she didn't miss a heel lead. She looked stunning. Her frame and her posture were wonderful. Her synchronization, her musicality was splendid. It really made me smile. Fantastic dance from start to finish. Loads of proper content, brilliant movement around the floor. All the section on the bench was great. The cartwheel at the end was just terrific. Flawless footwork, as I've said. Maisie was good to go all the way through. Her feel for the music was just wow. It was a ballroom routine at its best. We need more routines like this on Strictly. It all came together. The music, the choreography, the outfits. Truly, it was just a hair from perfection. In one word, enchanting. And my score for this week's step is a 9. I hope you have enjoyed my review. I really hope you subscribe to my channel. And see you next time on Musical Switch. Goodbye.